you want to say, I know these people are going to like it. I know these customers are going to like it. And it's easy to just close your eyes and say, everyone's going to love it. But getting more targeted is the hard part.
Some advice, it's like, you don't need to go 100% at once. Like you can stand up a specific landing page or a specific campaign that is more targeted towards a particular ICP or activity or service or product. Honest Ecommerce is a weekly podcast where we interview direct-to-consumer brand founders and leaders to find out what it takes to start, grow, and scale an online business today. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. Today, I'm welcoming to the show an amazing founder. Shelley Gupta is the founder and CEO of BaKIT Box, educational baking kits for kids. Shelley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to chat too. I always like to shout out where I meet people, and we met at Sub Summit, which is a great little conference for anyone that is in the subscription or retention business industry type space. So if anyone is listening and they have a business model like that, definitely check out Sub Summit. Did you know that they're moving to Kansas City next year?
I did. I'm excited about it. I've been going for the last 3 years in Dallas, so I'm excited about the change.
Me too. I'm more excited for Kansas City barbecue because I know they're going to get some awesome food there next year.
Yum. That's so true.
Back to BaKIT Box, like quickly, what are the actual products or what are you sending? If I purchase from BaKIT Box, like what exactly am I getting in the mail?
Yeah, good question. So you're going to receive, depending on what you purchase, you're going to receive a recipe kit, which includes all the dry ingredients that you need to make the actual bake. That's the baseline. But in addition to that, you're going to be receiving some educational workbooks included in your box that introduce you to that country or that cuisine or that topic area, depending again on which you order. And it has a bunch of activities, challenges, STEM focused exercises, language exercises, math, all sorts of things related to that topic area. So in the downtimes of baking, when it's in the oven or when the dough is resting, there is something that you can do to engage the kiddos in the household and really make it a full culinary experience.
It definitely seems that you've thought this through. Where did this idea come from?
Yeah, great question. So it first came from the idea that there's just very little, if not no, diversity in baking today. So, if you visit your local grocery store and go to the baking aisle, it still contains brands that are, over 100 years old, selling items that are very basic, American bakes, chocolate chip cookies, brownies, birthday cake. And we don't have that enriched culture in the baking aisle yet. But we do see it in the grocery store in all the other aisles. So that was where the idea first stemmed from for me, was introducing baking to the DIY at home projects in an easy way. And it was really our customers, those MVP customers that came to us in those early stages who triggered some ideas for me around the educational side, where I had a couple of parents saying, "Oh, this is really cool. What can you tell me about this country?" And that was like such an aha moment where I was like, oh my God, there's such an opportunity here that we're not capitalizing on. So I took some time to reiterate on the product itself and then launched it as a educational tool for kiddos introducing STEM.
That's amazing. You had this idea. Do you remember what year maybe that the first iteration of this went live?
Yeah, it was in 2021.
And then you got that feedback, and how quickly did you pivot per se? I'd call it more of an iteration of the product.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get that feedback from that initial core group of customers and then make that change?
Yeah, it took a little while, but that was more because another reason it really pushed me to make the change was when I went through the Techstars accelerator program in 2022. So that plus all the feedback and really taking the time to analyze my customers' feedback was how it pushed me to make that change and do that reiteration. So we launched with the STEM aspect or the educational aspect in July of 2023.
I don't want to get ahead of myself here. You still launched and you still got customers who I'm assuming weren't your friends and family. Like, how did you get that first? Like, how are you getting the word out there about BaKIT Box without, just being a startup and not having that initial customers to sell to?
Yeah, at first, of course, it was family and friends. But as we started just blasting with emails and LinkedIn and organic social media. We, created a BaKIT Box Instagram account and Facebook account. It was just hoping that people were seeing it. We did not do any paid, media at that time, didn't have any budget for it. It was just an MVP. And so those first few customers whose names I did not recognize was a very exciting time to see that, this is actually going beyond my network in Chicago.
Yeah, it definitely helps validate it a little bit more.
For sure.
You said you went through an accelerator program. Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them?
Yeah, I believe I applied. I think it was, an application that I saw coming through and figured it would be a good time. And then there was a very rigorous interview process and, recommendations and referrals that I needed to get in. So, and getting in as a product company, given, it is Techstars, and I assumed that it would be mostly high tech companies. It was really awesome to be accepted and be able to learn from all those mentors and all those investors. So that was the summer of 2022.
Obviously, it was a whole program, but were there any standout kind of learnings from that whole experience that you could share with the audience?
Yeah, I think the biggest one was really understanding our customer. And I thought I did at the time. But they definitely challenged us and, challenged me to dig a little bit deeper into why our customers are purchasing. And that understanding and doing that exercise really made me realize the difference between a single young person who's baking and enjoys baking versus a parent who's using it as this tool to connect with their child. And it really made this big difference of understanding the why and then understanding what that means for longevity and potential like LTV, and which market was truly just a stronger market for us to be providing an actual service that is beneficial to that person.
Absolutely. And would you say that maybe as an entrepreneur, it's easy to kind of put blinders on to some of that outside information because you feel so passionate about the version of the idea you came up with?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so easy to be kind of tunnel vision and just, you want to say, I know these people are going to like it. I know these customers are going to like it. And it's hard to close the door because as soon as we rebranded, or we kind of like, it wasn't a whole rebrand, but kind of shifted a little bit of our marketing and our branding. I knew that was closing the door to some individuals that don't have kids and maybe see this now as a total kids brand, which it is. But it was that scary moment of saying, like, am I really comfortable with this? Because it's easy to just close your eyes and say everyone's going to love it, but getting more targeted is the hard part. Yeah,
I think niching down, it doesn't matter what you're doing, like with a service business, like if you're in the agency world or, a handyman world or, selling a product like yours, it is scary to potentially turn off customers to double down into what should be a more profitable area or niche. There is some fear there, and you do need to kind of take a leap of faith and just some advice. It's like, you don't need to go 100% at once. Like you can stand up a specific landing page or a specific campaign that is more targeted towards a particular ICP or activity or service or product. I think it would probably be a worse idea to just overnight change everything unless you had a bunch of research to back it up.
Right. 100%. It's very challenging, but I feel like as an entrepreneur, I got to listen to the feedback I'm getting. I have to listen to my customers and really understand that in order to be able to serve my customers and be true to the mission, sometimes you do need to, look at the niche markets and see what just makes the most sense.
Hey, everybody, just a quick reminder. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't. We're releasing interviews like this every week, so don't miss out. Now back to the interview. You go through this accelerator program. You come out with a better understanding of the market that you want to go after, and you start pivoting towards that market. Then what happens? How did you grow from there? What was going on?
Yeah. So 2023 and then 24 was definitely, we were kind of starting from scratch, but I still had a few years under my belt of learnings. And we kind of discovered a market, not kind of like by fluke. And this was the homeschooling communities. So I worked with a mom who was actually just filming some content for us, and we were kind of hanging out. And she mentioned that she homeschools, and she was like, "This will be a great market." I knew nothing about the homeschool market at that point. And from that point on, it was something that we did a lot of research on, tried to understand what are they looking for, what kind of curriculum, is it standardized, is it not? And, after some time, we are now approved in 14 states as official curriculum in the homeschool world. And we are selling through a lot of grant programs where parents are receiving funding and they can use it on educational tools like ours.
That's amazing. Again, it goes back to you were just listening to not only your customers, but this was now a customer that had become an advocate for the brand and an influencer for the brand.
Absolutely. It was great. It was just, having some conversation, understanding her and getting to know her and her daughter, and to learn that there's this market of parents that, are creating tailored curriculum in their own homes, and they have the flexibility to bring on tools and hands-on experiences. It was just kind of a perfect fit for us to try. And turns out that it's a great market for us.
I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. You're investing in paid traffic, email, influencers, you're doing everything, but your store's still not converting like it should. That's the hidden cost nobody's talking about. If you don't know why people aren't buying, you're constantly losing money. Whenever conversion rate optimization comes up with brands, the first thing I ask them at the agency is what they are using for analytics and behavior tracking. Heatmap.com is my go-to recommendation because it's the only platform I've seen that connects user behavior directly to sales. That kind of visibility is critical for e-commerce brands trying to grow. I tell every brand that we work with to install Heatmap. It shows you what's working and what isn't using real behavior data tied directly to revenue. You get live heat maps, session recordings, funnels, and attribution down to specific product pages. This isn't just another analytics dashboard, it's a revenue optimizer. And right now, Honest E-commerce listeners get the hookup. They get a 14-day free trial. They get access to their ultimate 150-point CRO checklist. And as a bonus, you'll get a free setup by us over at Electric Eye when you ask for us to do so. So stop wasting another dollar guessing. Visit heatmap.com/honest. That's heatmap.com/honest and start seeing what your customers see, because clarity truly equals revenue. If you sell big, bulky, oversized products on Shopify, I'm talking saunas, reformers, ping pong tables, exam tables, you know the pain. Your cart can't automatically show the real price to deliver that product. So maybe you guess a flat rate for your shipping, or there's that obnoxious email us for a quote button, and the buyer just doesn't purchase. That's why FreightRight built the world's first solution to make merchants' checkouts freight ready for heavy goods. Quote less, ship more. With FreightRight installed on your Shopify store, your customers see the true cost of shipping, including options for white glove or curbside, lift gates, appointments, even taxes, duties, and tariffs, all automatically calculated for any buyer anywhere in the world. Behind the scenes, FreightRight books the carrier, generates the bill of landing, dispatches, tracks, and writes the actual shipping costs back to the order, so finance isn't staring at a $0 line item. Prefer to offer free shipping domestically? Go for it. FreightRight automates the operation behind the scenes. Sell in other countries without local fulfillment facilities or distributors. Ship direct to consumer from your warehouse or even from your factory with accurate landed costs and reliable delivery times at checkout. Quote less and ship more with FreightRight. make big and bulky finally buyable on Shopify. For the first 50 listeners to get set up with Freightrite before Black Friday, Freightrite will actually cover the first $500 in shipping costs on orders that are fulfilled through Freightrite. To take them up on that offer, go to freightrite.com/honest. That's FREIGHTRIGHT.com/HONEST to get your free customized quote and start selling your bestsellers around the world. Visit freightrite.com/honest today. That's freightrite.com/honest. Now, was subscription always at the forefront of the product offering, or did that come later on?
Kind of. It was always an option. And the reason I say that is baking is an industry where, it's very challenging. There's such a science to it. So it's not the easiest task, and we want to, make that easier for people. So I wanted to always give the option of you can try this without committing. So whether that means you're gifting it to a family or friend or somebody that you care about, or you just want to try it out for yourself, we didn't want to limit people to having to lock in to a recurring subscription. So we always had both options. The subscriptions, though, have become, over time as we relaunched, have shifted a little bit where we do 3 months of content in one box, and you get that 4 times a year. So it does end up being kind of a once a month experience, but you have the flexibility to do that within the 3-month period. So 3 boxes every 3 months is our subscription. So it's a little bit different than the kind of a la carte business where you can try one recipe, you can try, couple things here and there without committing.
In more recent years, has marketing expanded beyond just kind of the social posting and the word of mouth?
Absolutely. So when I launched the kind of educational side of the business and the products, we worked on some social, like some paid social. Wasn't our favorite way of going about it, but it was great for brand awareness. It definitely brought a lot of eyes on the business, which was wonderful. And that's when we also started pursuing homeschool and started working with more influencers and creators, and just wanted to spread an organic message about this. What's always interesting about a product that's, for families is that the kids who benefit the most from the product are not the one purchasing. So you need to convince the parents that they want this for their child and their child's going to like it. So there's so many little steps that need to happen. So paid social is definitely something we did. We're not doing as much of that now. And then, go in the homeschool market, we go to conventions. We're in person in different states, showing off the product and gathering names and, creating email campaigns. And then we also work with influencers. Outside of that, we are also working with some gift shops and museum gift shops. Again, we're very targeted to educational avenues. So we're working with a few museums across the country now where we're in their gift shops and we kind of tie to an exhibit that they have.
That's amazing. Is there anything, like looking back on the tenure of BaKIT Box, name of the show is Honest Ecommerce. Is there, any mistakes you might have made along the way that you're like, hey, maybe don't do this, listener?
For sure. I think at first, to be honest, I think I thought e-commerce would be easy. And it's not at all. And kind of thought that just throwing your name out there and throwing money at social media and all that would get the results that I think historically people have seen with successful brands, but it's definitely not that easy. I put a lot of eggs in that basket at first before realizing that there's probably more niche markets we can go after, like homeschool, for example, or like gifting. And, I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it again because it taught me, what's the right avenues for us, but it was definitely a stressful time to be, looking at the conversion numbers every single day and wondering why they're not, moving in the direction that we want. But that just wasn't the way that it was going to work for us, at least in the early stages. Again, it's a little bit challenging you're trying to convince a parent to do something for their child. They're not going to do it themselves necessarily. It's a family experience. So, I think that was something that we learned really quickly was let's save some of this budget and try something that's a little more targeted. And it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. I like what you said at the beginning, that you thought e-commerce was easy. And that's kind of where the show comes from. It's like, it's not really easy. And it's all those success stories out there. There's a little bit of confirmation bias out there because the things you hear about are the ones that are successful. You don't hear about the thousands and thousands of failures.
Absolutely. It is definitely more challenging. And you can, there's so many success stories, which is amazing and great data to, if you want to kind of mimic that or try some things that you've heard that have been done well. But every company is just so unique. And naturally, all the customers are changing. They're more and more savvy. They're more and more educated. And there's so much competition, not just for products, but for their time and for their eyes, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or however they're finding you. So it's so dynamic that you can't, there's no playbook that works for everybody.
Now, is there anything I didn't ask you about that you think would resonate with our audience?
Oh, that's always a hard question. Well, I guess a little bit about my background, because I have kind of a dynamic, career path. I started off as a musician. So, I'm from Canada, from Toronto, and my first experience building any sort of brand was around me and my name, because I put out an album when I was like 20 something and built a whole brand around myself, around, trying to connect with an audience and trying to understand what it takes to build a business. And so I take a lot of those learnings with me today. But that's probably one of my more unique background, items.
It tells everyone that, you can pivot and anyone can start an e-commerce business and find success if they work at it. Like you said, it's not going to be an overnight thing.
Absolutely.
Now, if I'm listening to this and I'm interested in, picking up a BaKIT box for myself, for my family, where should I go? What should I do?
Yeah, you can visit us at bakitbox.com. It's BAKIT box.com. And you've got a lot of options on there. We've got about 16, 17 SKUs and different recipes that you can try out, or you can also subscribe.
Awesome. Shelley, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you. Great to have you.